About bullying. My name is Officer Barnett. I'm a police officer for the
Hi, how you doing?
School District Police Department. I grew up in Fontana, born and raised here. Graduated from Fontana High School, and we're going to absolutely we're going to just, I know your time is valuable. We're going to knock out some really important things, just some topics that I want to cover real quick on bullying and what our schools are doing about it. These are the three things we're going to cover. Number one, what is it? Just a brief definition. How to prevent bullying, okay, and how prevalent is it, and what do we do about it? And what are we doing in our schools about it? Number one, we all remember the bullying in school. We all were in school. We remember that guy that just wouldn't let it go. Continued to pick on one of those poor innocent people and would just continue to harass and taunt and harass and taunt. And because of some of the new ways of being able to taunt and harass, sexting, the internet, Facebook, social media, it's really become something that's prevalent now. And everybody's looking at why? Because now, all of a sudden, kids are killing themselves because they're being bullied at school. Continual bullying. Whether it be bullying because you don't look like somebody else, whether it be that you choose to have a male partner and you're a male, and somebody thinks that that's wrong. Maybe it's because you don't dress the same way. You're poor and you go to a school where there's a bunch of rich kids. It's the same thing. It's always been there. And it continues to go on. And this is what we're doing about it now. Let's be clear. Bullying versus teasing. I can come up to you and you come up to me and say, hey, you know what? Me and you got a real problem. We'll probably need to go see the same hair doctor and tease him about it. It would be if I continued on him every single day at school and told him, hey, you're horrible. You're the worst thing in the world. The way you look really bugs me. And then it went on from that to posting on social media. And then from posting on social media, it went that I followed him home. And a group of us followed him home. Because I got a bunch of my friends over here that I got to string along with me. And now I have cohorts with me that are also taunting and teasing. That's where we start to see the difference between just teasing and bullying. And it's not normal. Is bullying normal? No. The person that's a bully, there's some weaknesses in it. I'm telling you, I work in a program for the district called the Flip Program, and I have bullies in my program. I have people that do bully in my program. Those kids, most of them, have grown up in a house where they have been victimized with people of violence. They know nothing but being bullied because they've been bullied. And so it is not normal. And it's a development for more serious activity to occur in that child's life. It just scans something a little bit different. Carrying weapons on campus. Fighting. Frequent fighting. Let's talk about that. Not just one fight a week. We're doing 2 to 3 fights a week. That's the bully. What are we doing about it? Safe School Act. Let's just get through all this real quick. Safe School Act, the district policies, the education code. Hey, look, you deserve to go to school in a place that's safe, where you can learn, where you don't feel threatened. Everyone should have that right. And that is what the safe schools, the education code, that's what that sets up. Now, when it becomes a criminal act, that's when law enforcement gets involved. And there are steps that it takes. Common bullying rules, the target, that's the individual or the person we're going after, the bullies, whether it be covert or overt, the target. What I call payback rules, active followers, the henchmen. Remember when I talked about getting that group of people to go together? I can't do it myself, I'm going to get a bunch of other people to come with me. The passive follower, that person that just wants to follow along. Then you have the onlookers, the possible defenders, somebody that might stand up to actually try and help out the person that's being bullied. The defender, the advocate, you know that one person that was your friend that would always stand up for you no matter what. Cyberbullying. For the Fontana Unified School Police Department, we take calls on this almost every single day. It's out of control. It's out of control because parents give their kids technology that us as parents, when we grew up, we didn't have. And we don't really understand it all that well. My 4-year-old can unlock my phone and get on my phone and look around on my phone. My 7-year-old is so computer savvy, she's much more our kids have. So what do? They turn this and social media into a tool to harass and taunt. And let's be clear, if you do not know what your kids have on Facebook, do they have a Facebook, Instagram account? Do they have access? If you don't know, you're a parent, woo! Because the things that these kids put out, when we open a Facebook page and I see a 12-year-old girl with her shirt open because she's sending it to a boyfriend, what do you think the boyfriend does? The boyfriend takes his cell phone and goes, hey, did you see this picture of this girl I made? I say that. And then when they break up, where does it go? And once it's sent off, it's gone forever. Everybody's got access and we can't get it back. Kids have killed themselves over that same issue. So that's where we start seeing the transition from straight bullying and relationship. Even if it was just, I didn't like the way you looked, and I took a picture of you, and I posted it on Facebook so that hundreds of your classmates can see the comment that I made about the fact that I thought you were disgusting and ugly. Imagine what that does to a kid who already is a victim of violence at his home, is a victim of violence at school, and I'll tell you what, if you don't think that plays a part in why we have school shooters, I'll show you proof that it does. Consequences of bullying. What are the effects on the bully? Because there's all these different people in play here. So one of the short term is, if they start getting involved in other types of crimes. Little stuff, little tiny stuff. Vandalism, shoplifting, truancy. It's just that kid. But the long-term effects, look at when their conviction ages. Identified in grades 6 through 9 had at least one conviction by the age of 24. 35-40% had 3 or more convictions by the age of 24. What are the effects on the victim? Well, you can imagine. I mean, obviously, some serious issues. Even if they're short-term. Talk about short-term depression. Headaches, stomach pain, I don't want to go to school, I can't go to school. Hey, you have to go to school today. I can't, I don't want to. But really, when you look at the long term, lower self-esteem, and the biggest thing that we deal with is suicide. Characteristics of bullies. Of course, we see it in the offices more. We see it in school police officers more. They don't like school. Or they have an adjustment issue to schools, going from middle school to high school, jumping from school to school, repulsive, strong need to dominate. They can't dominate at home. They don't have any self-worth at home. So how do you get the heads up? You've got to dominate people. You have to make people feel like you walk over them to feel empowered on your own. I wanted to share this with you because if you do have kids or you have people in your home, I want you to start noticing things about your kids, talking to your kids, finding out what's going on. Look, as parents, you know when something is wrong with your kids. I know when my kids, there's something wrong with my kids. If, they're frightened to walk to school. Schoolwork's going downhill. There's those symptoms you see that you know that are telltale signs that are not your child. You know something is wrong. Has nightmares. I mean, how about this? Hey, don't give me the money for lunch anymore. Don't give me the money for lunch anymore. Why? I just don't need the money when I go to lunch anymore. Just don't give it to me. Or, hey, I need more money when I go to lunch. Why do you need more money? Don't ask me the question. Just give me the money so I can get through the day. There's issues. You can start seeing those. They're telltale signs that something is going on. But the most important thing is when you see those signs, what do you have to do? You have to start talking to your kids about it. We talked about other victims, these signs that we see. Specifically when they're being victimized continually. Signs of physical confrontations. Guys, when your kids when they walk in, you see bruises, bumps, their torn clothes. You better start asking, what in the heck happened to me today when you were going home from school? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Well, it's time to talk. Because to do nothing about it are some serious consequences related to that. Go ahead and move to the next slide. It's not just one kid, it's probably multiple kids. This kid's not just bullying one kid. And if this large group, let's put this together. Let's not just call bullies just one single person. Let's say about the gang membership we have in some of our schools. Those are bullies. That's a group of kids who taunt and pick on specific individuals. Bullying can be one person, it can be a group of people. Let's be clear on that. So it is affecting the school side. It affects right down to the fact that they need attendance and the kids aren't going to school anymore. Bullying affects the school. Why are they not reported? Well, why do we think it's not reported? I mean, obviously kids are scared to death that something's going to happen to them. Should they report it or step up? This kid said he was going to kill me if I say anything. I don't want to look like a wimp. You know, I don't want to lose my friends. If I stand up to this one kid, he's friends with these other kids, and I want them to accept me, so maybe I should just accept the fact that this kid thinks I'm a bad person. They don't want confidentiality issues. You know, if you say something and it leaves the office, we deal with this all the time. Are you going to tell somebody when I leave the office? How are you going to work this so it doesn't make me look like a rat coming out and saying, has bullying played a part in school shootings? Absolutely, my friends. Columbine High School. 2 shooters, what did they say? We picked on all the time. Jocks used to pick on us. What did they do? Improvise a horrible mass murder plan and implement it and did it. And I can tell you right now that at Fontana High School, when I was a student there was a young man who felt he had been disrespected and wronged, had been bullied, brought a revolver to school, and ended up shooting a young man based on that. So we have to admit the fact that these things do happen. We have to take a look at those things, and we have to say there are serious consequences to bullying that occurs on school campuses. Yes, there are serious consequences. And it's not only going to be the person who's being bullied, but it could be your student that's going to school. So it's important that you let your kids know, too, that may have better self-esteem. Hey, if you see somebody being bullied, it's not right. And it's okay to stand up and say, hey, I need to report this to an administrator. I need to tell a teacher. This poor kid's getting his butt beat every single day behind the gym. They're stealing his stuff. It's okay to be strong and stand up. It's not a sign of weakness. I don't know when that ever came into play, that standing up and being a good person meant that you were horrible or right. Standing up for the morals that you have. And that's what we have to build in our kids. It's okay to stand up to horrible people. Go ahead to the next slide. So what can we do about bullying? Talk to your kids and ask questions. Know where they're going. Know what they're doing. Most of the time when I ask parents about, do you know where your kids, I go do home visits for my kids for the food program. And I get there and I say, where's your kid at? I don't know, I think he went to the park. Why don't you know where your kid's at 6 o'clock? He's 13 years old. He's 14 years old. You should know. You should be finding that out. Know what they're doing. Know who they hang out with. And set those limits and boundaries. You're here tonight because you care. You're here because you care about your community, your kids, and you do set boundaries for your children. You set realistic boundaries that they can follow. Unfortunately, we have a lot of parents that aren't like you. And so, those are the kids that are out and can become those bullies. How can I help if my child's being bullied? Well, number one, hey, you got to affirm your child that it's okay. You know, we know that. Hey, geez, come here. I love you to death. Affirm the fact that they're okay. Affirm the need to ask questions. You can also assess your student's safety. You know that if you let them walk down the street tomorrow, they're probably going to beat up. And give them a ride. Change the way, the direction they walk. Do something for your kid. Assess the safety. And take action. Take action is the biggest thing. Don't be afraid to go to the school and tell them that there's an issue. We pay principals to be principals. We pay them to be there to listen. We pay assistant principals to take care of business. They don't want it on their school sites. They do not want this this type of behavior on their school sites, I can guarantee you. How do I report bullying? Look, just like any crime, if you call on the phone and say, hey, I just want to let you know I think this is going on, I'm an anonymous caller, here's the kid's name. But I think the best thing is going in and doing it yourself, going in and following up with it. Anyone can report. You can report it anonymously if you want to, and students can always tell staff members. That's the biggest thing. What happens after it's reported? Well, it probably depends on what school district and what school district policies are in place. I can tell you in Fontana, it's taken seriously. Immediately, it's brought in the office, it gets sat down and talked to, it's investigated. If the administrator feels that it has gone past, it's handed over to a school police officer, and the school police officer will take up the investigation. Exposure that. Bullying. Look, we've all gone to school. We all know what it's like. We don't want our children, our grandkids, our nieces and nephews to be victims of bullying. But to empower your children to stand up, I think is the biggest thing. Instead of being a victim, instead of being victimized, stand up and do what is right. And feel empowered that you are doing the right thing. We have to teach our kids that. Are there any questions about bullying or anything? Yes, ma'am.
I was going to say, somebody bullying somebody, like this like this. I don't think it never had anything like that. Why is it long distance? Somebody takes you like to do something. You can't keep their ass.
Well, no. I think the hard thing is this. Here's the hard thing. Here's the hard thing. Back in the day, in Fontana, we'd go and settle the difference outside, and we'd go somewhere and we'd beat each other up. Unfortunately, times have changed. And along with fighting comes a ticket. And now what happens is the victim now ends up getting a ticket, and they end up on the same level as the person that started the fight. Also comes along with that, I end up getting in a fight, and I hurt somebody very badly, who ends up becoming responsible for what happens to the child. My child just beat somebody up really bad, broke their nose, all the medical costs. Who incurs that?
And it was happening, so my parents wasn't able to graduate from high school, wasn't able to go across the stage because of something like this. But it's almost like somebody bullies somebody, so when they get knocked out, you're the person that they see because, they're the one that's hurt.
And I think now, with today's times, it's better just to go ahead and tell your children you need to report it instead of taking it into your own hands. Because listen, you never know that the bully has a knife. You know the bully never has a gun, and you don't know the bully ever fights fair. And so, just to be safe, it's better just to step up and do the right thing, so we don't have to come out and kill a kid that doesn't need a ticket, and that's really hard to do. Okay? Thank you for allowing me to come and speak tonight.
Okay, I'm going to take about 5 or 10 minutes just telling you some things going on in the city, and I'll open up for questions. But again, I really, as you were pushing, I don't want to keep you guys too late because the state cuts down on you guys returning. But I know I've come up here before and talked about some of the changes in public safety with realignment. Realignment was implemented in 2011, and what it was is probably the most significant change to public safety in the state of California that we've seen in generations. And what has happened because of 2 reasons: because of the United States Supreme Court direction to the state of California, and for budgetary issues. People who are deemed to be a triple non, and a triple non is a non-violent, non-sexual, non-serious offender. People who are deemed to be a triple non, if they get convicted of a triple non felony, all felonies used to go to state prison. Now these people that are triple non now go to county jails. In San Bernardino County, the impact is so severe. About 400 people a month in San Bernardino County Jail have to be released early to make room for these new people who are coming out. Now, as soon as this was implemented in the state of California, which is October of 11, as soon as that started, we saw that month, we saw an increase of crime starting to to rise. This reversed a 20-year downtrend, a national trend of a reduction in crime. In Fontana, it immediately started going up. I think as chief, the reason I feel this was caused by, what this was caused by, we have a county jail on our border, West Mountain Jail. Okay? That's where most of them were released from. These people are getting released without any supervision whatsoever. These people are getting released without any help on what they can do to stay out of jail. Most people who go to jail don't want to go to jail. They just don't know how to stay out of it. So from October of 11 to September of 12, we saw a steady increase in crime. About a 14% increase in crime. And again, this reversed a 20-year trend of decreasing crime. Now, in September of 12, we implemented 2 programs. One is extremely innovative. We developed a reentry support team. We have an entire group of people dedicated to finding out these people getting out of jail, what we can do to keep them from returning. If it's getting them a job, we get them a job. We help them get a job. If it's substance abuse, we get them into substance abuse. If it's anger management, we get them anger management. If they don't know how to get a job, we teach them how to fill out an application. We clothe them. We have clothes we can give to them that are donated for them. At the same time, we develop our reentry support team, people coming out of jail, re-entering society. We teach them how, it's entirely voluntary. They come to us. And if they don't want our services, we don't want them in the program. Because our services are limited, we don't want to take the space of somebody who does want to be in the program. At the same time we implemented that, we developed a rapid response team. Now, the people that get out of jail, they are predominantly property offenders. Your auto thieves, your people who commit burglaries and stuff. If somebody goes out and does a bank robbery, which is a violent crime, they'll do a bank robbery and then when they go through the money in 3 months, they will do another bank robbery. Okay? If I am a burglar or I'm a car thief, I'm going to be doing it 2 or 3 times a day until I get caught. These people get very comfortable. These people very quickly develop identifiable crime trends for us. So we developed a rapid response team. The folks are here to tell you next month we'll be putting out our second rapid response team. 4 highly aggressive officers undercover, and all they do is they go throughout the city putting out these little crime trends. Okay? So if we find out up in Hunters we got somebody that likes stealing condoms, they're going to be up here, you'll never see them, but they're going to be up here working and looking for Hondas that are getting stolen. And then they might be down in Southridge working burglaries. And then after that, they might be working, we get hit a lot of fitness clubs. They might be working at a couple of fitness clubs. In 1 month, these 4 officers arrested 62 people. Now, in a city of 200,000, you take 62 people off the street that don't want to go along with the program, you are going to reduce crime. So, in the 12 months after realignment was implemented, from October of 2011 through September of 12, we had a 14% increase in crime. Comparing 2013 to 2012, and 2013 is when we had both of these programs up and running, we had a 10% decrease in crime. I will tell you that is probably going to be any other city in the entire county, and we will probably be one of the lead cities in the state for decreasing crime because of our efforts. Okay, so essentially with realignment, people who get out of jail have 2 choices. They can re-offend or they cannot re-offend. That's our 2 choices. We have a program that will serve both of those groups. If they don't want to re-offend, we'll teach them how not to re-offend, how to stay out of jail. If they choose to continue to harm our society, we still have an obligation to protect you, and we will do that. We will hunt them down, and we will put them back in jail. We may not stay there long, but it is our job. Folks, it is working. We are very, very effective at this, and it's because of your involvement. Our reentry program, I have 3 full-time employees that have 2 officers and a civilian employee. But what makes that program so good is the community supporting these people coming out of jail. So, and also the mayor brought up how we were selected as the 15th safest city in the entire country for cities over 200,000. Folks, that was based on 2012 stats. Okay? 2013 stats are even better. Look forward to us getting that same award next year too, because I think it's a very real possibility. Other things going on in the city, some changes that you'll see. The helicopter, they left. The helicopter was brought up. Right now, a helicopter flies 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday. Any time now, we are waiting to take delivery, probably within the next week or 2 weeks. We're waiting to take delivery of our third helicopter. As soon as we take delivery of our third helicopter, we are ready to go to 7 days a week. So you will see that helicopter 7 days a week. Very, very effective, very useful tool. They're expensive. I think this one that we're buying right now is about 1.2, 1.3 million. I will tell you from the first helicopter that we bought, the second helicopter we bought, and I'm committed to you on the third helicopter that we bought, not one taxpayer dollar is going into buying those helicopters. Not $1. None of your taxes are going into doing that. Next time you see a drug dealer, you thank him. Because we're using we are using their money against them. Because the most effective way of dealing with drug dealers, because the drugs are an unlimited source, an unlimited supply, because they make it, they grow it. If we take it from them, they just go get more. So we focus on two things. We still will take the drugs off the streets, but we will also take their money from them, because that is not an unlimited supply. That's how we work them. And so folks, you are benefiting from it. We paid the first helicopter we bought. It was a 3-year-old one, very low time on it, and I think we paid like about $400,000 or $500,000 paid cash for that. All asset forfeiture money. The second one we leased on a 15-year lease. I told the mayor, the city manager, are committed to paying it off within 3 years. We paid it off in 12 months. I gave the same assurance to our city manager, our council, on the helicopter. We will take delivery on very shortly. I'll have it paid off in 3 years. So your taxpayer dollars are not going into it. The only thing the taxpayer dollars are going into are for the personnel that go into it. But even the personnel, since we share resources with Rialto and Bolton and Redlands, it is working out very, very well. The helicopter is a wonderful tool. We can fly that thing at 4,000 or 5,000 feet. You'll never even see it, you'll never even hear it. And we can come in right now. Somebody that actually, the one gentleman back here was talking to me about something in the car burglaries. And somebody took off when we couldn't find them. We can bring a helicopter and we can tell like that there's something hiding under the hood, because it looks at heat spots. And even during the dead of summer, we can tell the difference changes. We can tell where people are. So very, very effective tool. We'll take delivery of the third one. I wanted to get our light team up and running around this time period. We're having some staffing issues. We still have a lot of vacancies. We had some unplanned retirements and stuff. But I'm planning probably within the next couple months of getting our light team back up. We lost our light team in the recession. We had to pull those officers out and put them back into patrol. But we're funded for 2 positions for our light team. And that should be going up hopefully within the next month or 2 months. And like I told you, our second